One bright light in the sell-off today. General Electric shares are up a staggering 17% this week, making it the best week for the stock since 2009, as it looks like investors are finally believing in a turnaround. Bob Pisani has more for us on the floor of the NYSE. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Melissa. Is this the bottom for GE? It's up 17% this week after hitting the lowest level since 2009 a few weeks ago. Investors have cheered the appointment of former Danaher CEO Larry Culp as chairman and CEO as a sign GE is not irreparably damaged, since Mr. Culp has had a sterling reputation in his 14 years at Danaher. Indeed, options activity has been strong since the appointment, suggesting some investors may be seeing a floor in shares. Now, to give them some wiggle room, the company also did some house cleaning. They announced the free cash flow and earnings will fall short of previous guidance due to weaker performance in the power division in the wake of the acquisition of French company Alstom in 2006. Still, there's plenty of issues for the new CEO. The 12-cent quarterly dividend, 3.7% yield, it's sweeping up almost all of the discretionary cash. Can they keep it at that level? And there's the pension issue. $34 billion pre-tax shortfall at the end of 2017. Now, Mr. Culp has a big incentive. His new pay package will give him $21 million in salary bonuses and stock for the next 4 years. But if the stock is up more than 50%, he could get an additional $47 million. That's a payout. Back to you, Melissa.
All right, thanks, Bob. Wow. Have a great weekend. And Grasso, you actually you bought around these levels?
I've been long it for a couple of months. I averaged down on it. It was sucking wind for the longest times. It's still not above my average right now. But I think Tim showed a little shock at the pay package. That's what you were showing shock to, because I was shocked at the pay package that Culp has. He's got it's around $33 or so before that kicks in. So I do think it trades higher. I am staying long.
Well, it's interesting because, again, incenting a CEO based upon a stock price sometimes can prove to be actually not aligning the interest of shareholders. I know that sounds crazy, but it could actually be well, we won't get into it. We've seen it before. I think the most important issue for GE is all about positioning. I actually think that the things that are driving the stock move right now is that nobody's in the stock. I think the short interest, I've talked about this, I've looked at the positioning. The shorts are out of the name. A lot of the big institutions have lightened up dramatically. That, to me, gives you at least a clear runway to react to fundamentals, which aren't going to be extraordinary, but the bar is so low that I agree with Steve.
Is the stock out of the woods, technically, Carter?
Well, I mean, the first issue is when you have this long, protracted downtrend that seems to be unending, and then you get a gap. Let's say we didn't know the news, and you were just looking at price action.
Hold on, when did he get back here?
Yeah, well, I just invited myself back. Okay.
That's so weird, but I thought we were going to talk about
get on with the show.
I mean, I thought...
I invite him back right now, all right? And he's here.
You said
anyway, you're just looking at the chart, and you saw this gap.
The chart before I was so rudely interrupted. And then the issue is that let's say we didn't know the news, and there was a heavy volume gap like that on 300 million shares, and you were just sitting it, and it didn't even have a name on it. You would certainly ask, was something said? Did they have FDA approval? Was there an earnings beat? What would cause a move like that? We now, of course, know what it is. It's a major operator coming in to change it. Does that set the low? I think it does.
It does.
I think it
technically. What do you think? Does it set the low?
What do we do when we go up to that smart board?
The more you know?
The more you know. And
yes.
we talked, and Tim mentioned the amount of, traded 140 million shares that day. It traded about $11.50. We said 3 reasons why maybe a bottom's in. Huge volume, they're still in viable businesses, and they've addressed their problems. So I think the stock continues to rally, but it rallies into October 25th's earnings. Now, you asked Carter a question. Are they out of the woods? Remember in The Wizard of Oz? When they all come out of, they wake up from the poppy.
That scared me, by the way. That was a scary movie with the monkeys.
And we're out of the woods here. Remember that whole thing? And they were out of the woods.
Is that in The Wizard of Oz?
And they went to the wizard's house, but you know what? They weren't out of the woods because they still had to go get the broom from the witch.
You're saying that they're going to kitchen sink it on October 25th.
And October 25th is when they try to get the witch's broom.
What makes new lows?
If you could have been one character on The Wizard of Oz, who would it have been?
Totally Scarecrow.
Really? I would have had you as the Tin Man.
No heart. That's what you're saying.
You interpret that any way you want.